Some news on the regulation front. SEC Chairman Gary Gensler has said that Congress should give the SEC additional oversight and enforcement abilities to monitor transactions, products, and platforms in the U.S. crypto sector. In a letter to Senator Elizabeth Warren, he said it's his view that legislative priority should center on crypto trading, lending, and DeFi platforms. So I wanted to read just this excerpt from the letter. He said certain rules related to crypto assets are well settled. The test to determine whether a crypto asset is a security is clear. And the SEC has taken and will continue to take our authorities as far as they go. So Naomi, I want to kick this right off to you. Gensler says that it's very clear what a security is and what a security is not, and he would like the SEC to have further authority over what's going on in crypto. What do you take away from this?
It's very clear, which is why no one can actually tell you what's a security and what's not. And that's why, when you have all of these rulings come out of the SEC and they have all these settlements, like they don't even clarify. Like when they're going after the exchanges these days, they say, well, we're going after you because you're offering securities. You'll notice that they don't actually define which ones they consider a security and which ones they don't. And yet it's somehow so very clear to everyone in the industry. I mean, he talks about protection. He uses that as the nice little happy red bow he ties around this. Oh, well, we need oversight. We need more control. We need to know exactly what's going on with all this to protect people. And it's very clear that this is not what this is about. This is about a runaway financial system that they're no longer in control of. And of course, he needs more authority to regulate it because crypto as it stands can't be regulated. Now, if the US government decided to put a ton more resources into this, a huge amount of money to crack down on these people who dare use money that isn't controlled by the government, they're going to need a lot more resources because this is a completely decentralized system. This is a very difficult system to control. So yes, I understand why he feels backed into a corner, like this is running away from him, because it is. And that is the state of play at the moment. We have a system where it's an alternative to the government system. It's not controlled by the government system. And people are using this alternative and the government is getting pretty worried about that. But Zach, I saw your hand go up, so I'll throw to you.
I just wanted to chime in on the clarity point. I mean, you see sort of the purse Roisman wing of the SEC saying when these enforcement actions come out that, hey, we've failed to clarify. Here's yet another example of us failing to delineate what is what when we make these enforcement actions. So the idea that this is clear, crystal clear as day, is just a little laughable when even SEC commissioners recently have taken to pointing out the fact that this is not clear, and the SEC is not doing, in their opinion, a good enough job at distinguishing between various assets. I'll toss it to Ben because I saw his hand up, but I definitely want to get Will in here too.
Yeah, for sure. I think this could also be, when we talk about that lack of clarity, is there also a lack of clarity about like what agencies are tackling what when it comes to crypto, given the wide array of services and things like that, right? There's like bits between the FTC, the CFTC, like the SEC. And I feel like this, Naomi, maybe to your point too, this is like a way for the SEC to try to exert more control and say like, no, we are the big dogs here and should be largely the ones looking at crypto, not kind of split across various departments. That creates confusion, that creates a lack of continuity, and further adds to some of the like gray areas that seemingly have plagued the, industry for years now.
Yeah, quick thought for, the panel. I know when Gary Gensler was being tapped by Biden early last year, there was like a lot of enthusiasm around him being put in that position as Jay Clayton kind of finished out his tenure in office. But it seems like there's a lot of continuity in the leadership position there where they're not giving a lot of guidance on what is a security and what is not a security. And they're just kind of saying, we know what a security is, and then haphazardly handing out litigation against certain projects when they feel the need to. And Hester Peirce the other day wrote a really brutal takedown of a SEC opinion or SEC case against a crypto project that decided that they were a security and they forced them to pay a fine. And Hester Peirce was like, no, this is really unclear, and you're kind of hurting innovation here. So I'm curious, maybe Zach, you have some thoughts, or Naomi, you have some thoughts on like why there was enthusiasm around Gary Gensler coming into that position, and then now it just seems to be the same old kind of story we've seen forever in that chair.
I think that we, as a human nature, we really want like a leader that we can trust and we can put our faith in, and we forget that these people come to power, and generally it's the worst that get on top. I've got to say it. Gary Gensler, Catherine Wu, I think, put it best where she said that he knows just enough to be dangerous. You have these people who basically want to control a system, and they rise to the top of this political game, which is a terrible game if you actually dig into how this political machinations work. And these people rise to the top of that, and we think that they're going to do things in our best interest. I mean, it's laughable that we still think this when time and time again they just prove that it's most often in their own self-interest. It's most often to give favors to people who help put them in power. Like, this is not a system that's helping us, which is why we created alternative systems like cryptocurrency and decentralized systems, which aren't controlled by anyone. That is the glory of those uncontrollable systems.